If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed your erections aren't what they used to be, maybe they're weaker, slower to arrive, or disappearing altogether, this may be the most important conversation you've heard in a long time. Because what's going on down there isn't just about aging, it's not just about testosterone, and it's not just about desire. It's about blood flow, nourishment, and how your body responds to the choices you make every single day. I'm Dr. Lauren Tate, a men's health specialist with over 25 years of clinical practice, and today I'm going to walk you through a new approach to restoring erections naturally, without pills, gimmicks, or empty promises. Just real science, real food, and real stories from men who thought their best days were behind them and discovered they weren't. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about chasing youth. This is about reclaiming function. And it all starts with understanding one critical fact. An erection is a full body event. It's not isolated to the bedroom. It depends on your circulation, your hormones, your nerves, your nutrition, even your stress. And most of all, it depends on whether your body is being supported or slowly sabotaged by the food you eat every single day. At Tranquilive Health Seniors, we've worked with thousands of men just like you, men who were active, vibrant, and successful in so many areas of life, yet felt frustration, embarrassment, or even shame around their sexual health. And I'm here to tell you, none of that is your fault. What you're dealing with isn't a personal failure. It's a physiological change. And more importantly, it's something you can influence and improve with the right guidance. Let's start at the core. Erectile function is driven by blood flow. Without strong, smooth, uninterrupted circulation, the body simply cannot deliver the volume of blood needed to create and maintain a firm erection. That means if your arteries are stiff, narrow, or inflamed, even just a little, your performance will suffer. You might still feel desire, you might still feel emotionally connected, but the physical process doesn't happen, and it leaves you feeling frustrated. So what causes these arteries to become less effective over time? It's not just aging, it's what we do as we age. Years of eating processed foods, sitting more than we move, dealing with chronic stress, and missing out on essential nutrients all combine to quietly damage the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. And once that lining loses its flexibility, it becomes harder to get and stay hard. But here's the encouraging part. Your body can heal. It may take time, and it definitely takes consistency, but the male body has a remarkable ability to respond when given the right tools. And some of the most powerful tools are right in your kitchen. So today I'm going to walk you through 3 natural, science-backed foods that support your vascular health, stimulate testosterone production, and bring strength and function back where it matters most. I'll also share one bonus lifestyle tip that most men overlook, even though it can make all the difference. And finally, I'll show you how to combine these foods into one practical go-to meal you can enjoy 2 to 3 times a week. Let's begin with the first food, and this one might surprise you, because for decades it was demonized by mainstream diet culture. I'm talking about pasture-raised liver. Yes, liver, specifically from grass-fed cows or pasture-raised chickens prepared cleanly, either gently cooked or dehydrated and powdered. Liver is one of nature's most complete foods, and it's loaded with bioavailable nutrients that directly impact your sexual health. It's incredibly rich in vitamin A, which supports hormone production. It has highly absorbable iron, which promotes healthy oxygenation of blood. But more importantly, it contains coenzyme Q10, a nutrient that fuels cellular energy and supports the very mechanisms responsible for vascular function. It also delivers zinc, B12, folate, and choline, nutrients that play essential roles in testosterone production, nerve health, and overall energy. Now, I had a patient in his mid-60s who was dealing with weak erections, constant fatigue, and a total lack of morning wood for almost a year. He wasn't depressed, but he told me he felt like a grayed out version of himself. We ran labs. He wasn't terribly deficient in testosterone, but his nutrient levels were low across the board. I had him add liver once per week, either in food or capsule form. Within 5 weeks, he reported more spontaneous erections, better stamina, and even deeper sleep. Was it a miracle? No, it was just targeted nourishment. So if you're looking for one of the best kept secrets in men's nutrition, pasture-raised liver is it. Even a small amount once a week can help recharge your body from the inside out. Just make sure it's clean, organic, and comes from a trusted source. Next, Let's move to food number 2, which is something most men overlook: beets. These vibrant, earthy vegetables are one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. This is crucial for erections because relaxed blood vessels mean more blood gets to where it needs to go, quickly and efficiently. Beets also contain betaine, a compound that supports liver function and reduces inflammation. When combined with a bit of citrus, say lemon or orange, they become even more potent. I recommend men over 60 roast beets or juice them a few times a week. You'll likely notice not just better erections, but better workouts, more endurance, and clearer thinking. Now, here's the thing. Nitric oxide levels naturally decline with age. That means your body may struggle to generate enough of it on its own. But when you eat foods like beets, arugula, and dark leafy greens, you help restore that critical function. Beets in particular are convenient, versatile, and delicious when paired with a little balsamic vinegar or goat's cheese. One gentleman I worked with, a 71-year-old woodworker, started drinking a beet and lemon smoothie 3 mornings a week. He was skeptical, but after 6 weeks, he told me he felt more alive in every way. His words, not mine. Now, let's move to the third food, and this one is subtle but powerful. It's macadamia nuts. Yes, not almonds or peanuts, macadamias. Why? Because they're rich in monounsaturated fats, which are critical for testosterone synthesis. They also provide magnesium, manganese, and a healthy dose of selenium, another key mineral for reproductive health. So, why macadamia nuts instead of the usual suspects like walnuts or almonds? It comes down to their fatty acid profile. Macadamias have one of the highest concentrations of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, the same kind found in olive oil. These fats are essential for hormone production, especially testosterone. They also help lower inflammation and support the integrity of your blood vessels, which, as we've already discussed, is non-negotiable for erectile function. But that's not all. Macadamias are low in omega-6 oils, which can cause inflammation when consumed in excess. Most processed snacks and packaged foods are full of omega-6s. So by eating macadamias, you're helping to rebalance your fat intake, reduce inflammatory stress, and nourish your endocrine system in a way that few other foods can. And here's something a lot of men don't know. Cholesterol is the raw material for testosterone. Now, that doesn't mean you should load up on greasy burgers, but it does mean you shouldn't fear healthy fats. Your body needs them to produce hormones. I had one client, a 68-year-old widower, who had cut out all fat from his diet for years after a heart scare. He came to me with brain fog, poor energy, and almost no sex drive. After we reintroduced healthy fats, including a handful of macadamias daily, his lab results improved, and so did his morning wood. So, there you have it. Liver for nutrient density, beets for blood flow, and macadamias for hormone support. 3 natural, accessible foods that work together to tackle the core reasons many older men lose erectile strength. These aren't fads, they're functional tools, and when used consistently, they support your body's ability to do what it was designed to do. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about a bonus factor that isn't a food but has such a big impact on erections, it deserves its own spotlight. That factor is deep, restorative sleep. You can eat the cleanest diet in the world, take all the right vitamins, and walk every day, but if you're sleeping poorly, your testosterone will drop, your blood vessels won't repair themselves properly, and your stress hormones will rise, wreaking havoc on your sex drive. You see, most testosterone is produced at night, during your deepest sleep cycles. That's also when your brain detoxifies, your tissues regenerate, and your nervous system resets. When sleep is disrupted, either by frequent waking, sleep apnea, too much light, or even late-night screen use, your body stays stuck in a low-performance mode. Erections become weaker, and recovery from sex takes longer. The good news? You can make small changes that have big impacts. Start by aiming for 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep in a cool, dark room. Cut off screens an hour before bed and use a red or amber light in the evenings to avoid blocking melatonin. Try a magnesium supplement, or even better, pumpkin seeds, which contain natural magnesium and zinc. And if you're snoring heavily or waking up gasping, get screened for sleep apnea. It's more common than you think, and treating it can restore your erections almost overnight. I had a patient who spent years chasing supplements and diet fixes, but it wasn't until he addressed his poor sleep that his sex life began to come back online. Within 2 weeks of using a sleep apnea device and adjusting his bedtime routine, he noticed firmer erections and less fatigue during the day. So don't underestimate sleep. It's not laziness, it's medicine. And your body uses that downtime to refuel every system that matters for sexual performance. Now that we've covered the 3 foundational foods, liver, beets, and macadamia nuts, and the essential lifestyle factor of deep restorative sleep, let's talk about what you're probably wondering right now. How do I put this all together into something I can actually eat? After all, knowing is one thing, doing it consistently is what brings the results. So let's build a practical erectile support meal, something you can make at home, enjoy, and feel good about. You don't need to become a gourmet chef or spend hours in the kitchen. What you do need is a reliable routine you can stick to a couple times per week. Start with your protein, about 6 ounces of grass-fed beef liver, gently sauteed in a pan with a touch of grass-fed butter, garlic, and herbs. If you're not a fan of the taste, mix it into ground beef or blend it into a meatloaf with spices. The goal is to get it in your system, not win a culinary award. Next, prepare a roasted beet salad. Slice a few beets, toss them in olive oil, and roast them until they're soft. Let them cool, then mix with fresh arugula or spinach, drizzle with lemon juice and a touch of balsamic vinegar. You can even crumble some goat cheese on top for added flavor and calcium. And finally, grab a small bowl of raw macadamia nuts, about a handful. Keep them unsalted and unroasted to preserve their healthy fats. Add a few Brazil nuts if you want an extra selenium boost, but don't overdo it. These are rich foods and moderation helps with absorption. This meal delivers protein, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, and nitric oxide precursors, all in a delicious format. And the best part, it supports not just erections, but energy, clarity, and confidence. It's a complete system in one plate. Many men I've worked with report improvements in their sex lives after eating this type of meal just twice a week for 1 month. Why? Because it addresses the root causes, not just the symptoms of erectile dysfunction. It doesn't mask the issue, it works with your body to rebuild performance naturally. Now, let's be honest, one meal won't change your life overnight, but a consistent shift in what you eat, how you sleep, and how you support your body can add up to massive improvements, physically, emotionally, and relationally. And when you feel better about yourself, everything in life starts to feel more possible. One of the biggest mistakes I see men make when trying to improve their erections is thinking they have to overhaul their entire diet in one go. That's simply not realistic. What actually works is building repeatable routines, small shifts done consistently that naturally crowd out the habits that no longer serve you. Here's what I mean. Instead of saying, "I'm never eating junk food again," just commit to eating your erectile support meal twice per week. That alone can create momentum. Instead of vowing to hit the gym 5 days a week, just take a 20-minute walk after lunch. It helps with blood sugar, circulation, and digestion, all of which affects sexual performance. Remember, erectile health is not about perfection. It's about restoring function, and that means feeding your body what it needs to work properly, while slowly removing the things that block that process. Let's talk about a few of those blockers, common erection killers hiding in everyday foods. You might be eating these without even realizing they're silently sabotaging your performance. The first is refined sugar. I know, you've heard it before, but hear me out. Excess sugar leads to insulin resistance, inflammation, and damaged blood vessels. When your blood vessels are inflamed, they lose their ability to dilate properly. That means even if your brain is aroused, your body physically can't respond the way it wants to. And I'm not just talking about candy or soda. Many healthy foods marketed to seniors, like flavored yogurt, low-fat granola, or fruit juice, are loaded with hidden sugar. You want to aim for natural sugars, like those from fruit or raw honey, in moderation. Second, watch out for vegetable oils, especially canola, soybean, corn, and sunflower oil. These oils are cheap, highly processed, and high in omega-6 fats that promote chronic inflammation. And when inflammation goes up, testosterone goes down. Try replacing those with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even grass-fed butter in small amounts. Third, let's talk about alcohol. A glass of red wine here and there is fine and may even support blood flow due to its polyphenols. But regular or excessive drinking can suppress testosterone, disrupt your sleep, and desensitize to nerve signals responsible for arousal. If you're having more than 1 to 2 drinks a day, consider scaling back and noticing how your body responds. Now, before we move on, let me share something I've seen time and time again in my practice. Men don't fail to improve because of lack of desire. They fail because of lack of strategy. That's what we're creating here, a strategy. Simple, clear actions that stack over time and give your body the tools it needs to recover and thrive. All right, we've already covered liver, beets, and macadamia nuts, but I want to introduce you to one more food, dark chocolate. Yes, really, but not just any chocolate. I'm talking about organic dark chocolate that's at least 70% cacao. In small amounts, this can be one of your secret weapons for blood flow, mood, and libido. Here's why. Cacao is rich in flavanols, natural compounds that support the production of nitric oxide. You already know how important nitric oxide is for erections. It's the messenger that tells your blood vessels to open up and allow blood to flow into the penis. Flavanols help reinforce that system. Dark chocolate also boosts dopamine, the brain's pleasure and motivation chemical. Dopamine plays a key role in both desire and satisfaction, which means it can enhance not just performance, but emotional connection and enjoyment. One of my patients, a retired mechanic in his early 70s, started having a small square of 85% dark chocolate after dinner with a cup of mint tea. He called it his new ritual. Within a few weeks, he noticed his mood lifting, his cravings dropping, and his wife even said he seemed more like himself. It's a small thing, but often it's the small things done repeatedly that lead to big results. Just remember, not all chocolate is created equal. Milk chocolate and candy bars don't count. Look for organic, low-sugar dark chocolate and enjoy it slowly. This isn't just about function, it's also about pleasure and giving yourself permission to feel good in your body again. So where are we now? We've got 4 potent foods: liver for vitamins, minerals, and hormone support, beets for circulation and nitric oxide, macadamia nuts for healthy fats and testosterone synthesis, and dark chocolate for nitric oxide, mood, and dopamine. We've also covered deep sleep and how it silently drives your body's recovery, energy, and hormone regulation. We've talked about what to avoid: refined sugar, processed oils, excess alcohol, and we've built an example meal you can start with right away. But here's something else I want you to hear loud and clear. You don't need to do this alone. Talk to your partner. Let them in. In many cases, intimacy starts long before the bedroom. When you feel safe, supported, and unjudged, your nervous system relaxes. And when your nervous system relaxes, performance improves naturally. I've had countless couples come into my office, both feeling frustrated or disconnected, only to realize they were each quietly assuming the other had lost interest. Once they opened up, made a few changes together, and rebuilt that emotional connection, the physical results followed much more easily. So don't suffer in silence. Don't isolate. Sexual health is part of total health, and connection, both physical and emotional, is one of the greatest medicines we have. Let's now shift gears from food and biology to something just as important: structure. Because even if you know what to eat and what to avoid, without a plan, it's easy to slip back into old patterns. That's why I encourage my patients to think in terms of weekly rhythms, not daily perfection. When you create a rhythm, your body adapts, and your results build week after week. So let's build your weekly erection support plan. This doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. You can do this with normal groceries, a little prep, and a consistent mindset. Start with 2 foundational meals per week. One of those meals should include pasture-raised liver, either mixed with ground beef, turned into meatballs, or simply sautéed with herbs. The second meal should feature roasted beets, either in a salad with olive oil and arugula, or blended into a smoothie with lemon and ginger. Next, snack smart. Keep raw macadamia nuts and a few squares of dark chocolate within easy reach. Use them to replace processed snacks or dessert. Not only will this stabilize your blood sugar, it'll give your body the healthy fats and flavanols it needs to repair and rebuild. Commit to daily hydration, at least 2 liters of water per day. Blood is mostly water, and dehydration can make it harder for your body to send blood where it's needed during arousal. Add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon if you'd like an electrolyte boost. And perhaps most important, move your body, even just a little. You don't need intense gym sessions. In fact, Overtraining can actually drop testosterone. What you need is consistent, moderate movement that increases circulation, improves insulin sensitivity, and helps manage stress. Take a 20-minute walk after meals. Do a few squats and push-ups in the morning. Stretch your hips and lower back, two areas that directly affect blood flow to the pelvic region. Movement isn't about calories burned. It's about reminding your body that it's alive, vital, and ready to perform. Now, let's add a morning routine to the mix. Not a long list of chores, just a few powerful habits to set your body and mind up for success. 1. Sunlight. Get 10 to 15 minutes of natural light first thing in the morning. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm, increase vitamin D, and boosts morning testosterone. 2. Breath work. Spend 2 minutes doing slow, deep breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. This calms your nervous system, lowers cortisol, and improves blood vessel responsiveness. 3. Intention setting. Just ask yourself, what one thing can I do today to support my vitality? Keep it simple, whether that's walking, eating better, or skipping alcohol for the night. These habits may seem small, but done daily, they rewire how your body operates. You begin to shift out of survival mode and into vitality mode, and that shift shows up in your energy, your mindset, and yes, your erections. Now, let's talk about a key mental shift I see in the men who succeed at transforming their health and sex lives after 60. It's this: they stop waiting to feel motivated. They act from commitment, not convenience. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel energized, others you won't. But if you tie your actions to motivation, you'll never build momentum. The men who make the biggest changes are the ones who decide, this matters, my vitality matters, my relationship matters, and I'm worth the effort. That mindset is powerful because once you stop asking, do I feel like doing this? And start asking, is this aligned with the man I want to be? Everything changes. You stop relying on willpower. You start relying on identity. And that's when real transformation begins. Look, I've worked with men who came to me after years of struggle, years of pills that stopped working, relationships that grew distant, confidence that quietly eroded. But once they committed to small, consistent changes, nutrients, movement, mindset, their body responded, their confidence returned, and their connection with their partner deepened. So if you're feeling discouraged, I want you to hear this. Your body is still listening. It may be slower to respond than it used to be, but it hasn't stopped trying. And when you give it what it needs, nutrients, sleep, movement, sunlight, connection, it will meet you halfway. Your job is not to fix everything overnight. Your job is to take the next step, and then the next, and keep going. Because the truth is, you're not broken. You're just under-supported, and that changes now.